light-skinned shorty had to start up with them white folks. Thought it was a drought, now they gave the show to Michael. No, we moved the word count, no, we got the God flow. This ain't what you heard about, this that good convo. Good convo, good convo, good convo. This that good convo. Hello.
Yo, what up?
Peace. This is DMC speaking.
What up? Yup.
Word, Michael from Vanden. Please, pleasure, for real. I'm decent, man. How are you?
All right.
Word. It's crazy because we had actually met before. Like, you did this open mic talent thing in the National Harbor in Maryland probably like maybe 8 to 10 years ago. And I did the open mic.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Wow.
Man, it's an honor for real.
So you in Maryland?
I'm in Chicago, actually. I live in Chicago, but I'm from Maryland.
Oh, right on.
Word. Thank you for taking the time, man. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about Raising Hell, all things around it. So I felt like it was appropriate to start with Son of Byford. Like, that's like your mission statement in 30 seconds. I just wanted to know, how did your people react to you immortalizing them like that on a record that became so pivotal?
Oh, well, I mean, for me, it was always about through the presentation of hip-hop, it was always about taking those things that seemed not powerful in the streets, such as family, education, positivity, and love and respect, and like using that as a force to be reckoned with. Now, that being said, the only reason that I did it was just my spirit to, not tell you about my money, not tell you about the cars I drive, not tell you what was in my closet, but to say the things that was most important to me personally, which was family. But the crazy thing about that rap is that was when, Raising Hell, that was like we was running the world. And I found out that I was adopted when I was 35 years old. So when I went into therapy, my therapist said, even though you didn't know you was adopted, something inside of your spirit told you to proclaim the most important thing to any little kid on the face of the earth, which was just having a mother and a father and a brother and a family. It wasn't the riches, it wasn't the fortune and fame. So for me, when I did that rap, it was the coolest thing, the most powerful thing about my existence at that time. Even though we had a deep sneaker deal, we was killing the charts, touring the world, was, mom and dad. And I hope that was something that could resonate to all the people who was listening to my album. Like, don't worship me because I'm the king of rock. Respect me because I'm no different from any of you. So for my mother and father, it immortalized them eternally because that rhyme made everybody feel that Byford and Banner and Alfred was their family. So that was like my greatest achievement.
Word. Am I speaking to you from Queens right now? Are you in Queens?
No, I'm actually in Jersey.
Oh, you stay in Jersey?
Yeah.
Word up. What made you make the leap? Didn't you live in Queens for a long time?
Yeah, I lived in Queens forever. My wife made me move here because her family's here, and I'm always on the road. I'm never home. So when we first got married, we moved to Queens. It was all cool. But then, and then we got married at a time. We got married before Down with the King dropped. So I was just in and out, doing spot dates. But once Pete Rock produced Down with the King did for Run-DMC what people say Walk This Way did for Aerosmith. It brought us back. It revived our career. Pete Rock hates when I say that, but that's the truth. All those other records on Down with the King wasn't important. But that being said, when Down with the King dropped, since then I've never been home. So I came home one day and all of the house was packed up. I was like, "What are you doing? You're leaving me?" She was like, "No, we're moving to Jersey because she got more friends and family here." But I'm in Queens all the time. For next week, I'm going back to August Martin to speak at August Martin High School. I go speak at all the high schools and the middle schools, in the neighborhood that I grew up and stuff like that. So I'm still Queens at heart.
I can only imagine that the Queens you go back to now is nothing like the Queens you grew up in, because I feel like, from what I hear from folks, it's like Queens is one of the last places that hasn't been super gentrified all the way.
It's on the way. It is on the way. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was there when I was a kid is gone. It's being replaced by all these strip malls and Targets and stuff like that. And a lot of the houses that were, we was lower middle class suburban area, but now all the houses are being replaced by these little 3 and 4 family apartment buildings, which I only see eventually, where the parks was at and where the White Castle and everything used to be now. The next thing I see is coming up condos and rental apartments. But it's really different from as of what a community was. I mean, when I was growing up, we had gangs and we had drugs, we had pimps, we had coke, crack, everything that you can name for it. And there was a different mentality in the streets where achieving something positive was respected, and also when it came down to confrontation, people didn't just pull out a gun and shoot somebody in the head. Our generation was, if I had a fight with you and I beat you or you beat my ass, we grew up as friends. There was no animosity, you know what I'm saying? No continuous conflict. Now, the mentality has changed where everybody's using this negativity as a false sense of power. And that's something that I always say to kids in middle school. That's something I say it to high schools, but I also say it to the grown-ups. From the way the president acts, from the way our media is, from, everything from bullying and disrespect. Everybody's using everything that hip-hop was created to go against as a force in success in hip-hop. And Queens was a unique borough, especially when we took the Raising Hell album out and it just put Queens on the map globally. Prior to that, Sucker Seas and the first album had us on the map here in New York City and the nation. But Raising Hell took, Hollis, Queens to a global recognition. But it's funny, all the gangsters and the thugs and everybody that thought they was doing something street, whether it was selling drugs or being in a gang or lying, cheating, and stealing. When Run-DMC came along with that Raising Hell album, it was so powerful, it was so hard, even though, the outlook of Run-DMC's music was commercial, but like Ice-T said to me, he said, Run-DMC, y'all make positivity gangster. So when I look at my neighborhood now, and even when I look at the hip hop culture, it's like motherfuckers that did shit to destroy our communities get more respect than motherfuckers that fucking went to school and trying to make change in the neighborhood. So that's why I tried to make sure every one of my rhymes represented that thing that they couldn't judge a book by its cover or stereotype any of the youth in the streets. And a perfect example is my Adidas rhyme on the Raising Hell album. I didn't talk about how many pairs of Adidas I had and this and that. I talked about where these sneakers have been. I stepped on stage at Live Aid. These sneakers walked always to St. John's University, and we want respect, because most people at that time, when Raising Hell dropped, if you had a big gold chain on and some gazelles and some fresh kicks on, the first thing they would think of, oh, he's a drug dealer. And they were partially right. But there was also kids standing on those street corners like me that went to St. John's University, or just that kid that worked 3 jobs to have 4 pairs of fresh Adidas. So Me coming from Queens, there was so much that, from my perspective, that went into that Raising Hell about positive images, concepts, ideas, and visuals that went along from the people that I idolized as a kid, which were superheroes. So when I found out that Peter Parker lived in Queens, it was over. Shout out Queens because I'm representing my hood. When I found out that Peter Parker lived in Queens like me, I found out Peter Parker was a smart student like me, and most of those superheroes, Batman, Tony Stark, and Peter Parker, they highly educated. So I thought that I wasn't in the game. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like basketball. Running, they like basketball and all. You know what I'm saying? So for me, hip hop gave me a representation, and it gave me a culture, and it gave me a music that I didn't have prior to that. So my intent on that Raising Hell album wasn't to come and be, I wasn't trying to be the best MC or the best lyricist, and I wasn't trying to be successful. I was trying to represent something that needed representation.
Worse, there's so many points that you hit that I want to dig into one by one, and I'm glad that you laid all this out for me. So first of which, the Adidas record, right? Y'all were one of the first groups to get an endorsement of that sort of nature. And though you flipped like the sort of capitalist implication of it by saying where shit's been, like where you stepped with these Adidas, right? Like, I just wanted to ask you if you feel like there was a tension, because with Run-DMC being one of the first groups to, put on like that and have an Adidas deal and had a tracksuits, et cetera, right? To see y'all take that sneaker deal in the 80s onto the 90s, and then now you see how mainstream and hyper-capitalist these representations of rap are, where there are endorsements everywhere. Like, how much of it is too much, even though people are getting paid?
She said how much is too much. Well, the first thing that I let everybody know, especially these young kids, when I walk in a room and speak to them, I tell them, look, first of all, y'all, I wasn't thirsty. I didn't call Adidas. Adidas called me. And they go, oh. You know what I'm saying? So without them, I was great. So that's the first thing that had to be said. I don't need commercial or corporate support to determine or define what is success to me. Second of all, it's only too much when people are doing it just to get the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't fault nobody for, I don't mind the kid that says, I'm going to play basketball to get rich. Or I'm going to become a rapper to get rich. If you're going to do that, you're going to do that. But if you're coming from a hip-hop standpoint, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. You have a responsibility, or you should fucking be kicked out of hip-hop. And that's just my personal opinion. Your success, business, fortune, and fame is different from culture. And the reason why people don't understand that is they only begin to understand it when anything that is culturally relevant to a people, place, or nation will get diluted, polluted, and destroyed once it's commercialized. Because the commercialization of that culture, of that artistic endeavor, or that art form will become the last thing people care about once somebody writes a big check for it. So it's only too much when people do it, and when they're doing their commercials, and when they're doing their events, or when they're doing their ads, when they're doing their promotion and marketing, they don't mention the culture and the sincerity of those values that made it possible for this, even for whatever it is to be endorsed, recognized. That's when I get pissed off, because then once you lose all of those things, it doesn't become real anymore. It just becomes that thing. Like one of my new rhymes is, and all the kids say, yeah, DMC do really got bars. No curls, no braids, PC heads, and still get paid. I am the reason why Yeezys can get made. Battle over. So I don't have to debate now. And that rhyme is, what that means is, if I did that 30 years ago, and Kanye's doing what he did now, young girl, young man, what can you do in 5 years? But they don't see that no more. They rather say, okay, let me just be like DMC, let me just be like Kanye, or let me just be like A$AP Rocky to get that thing that we're already doing. My thing is, no, you can do this, but where you going to take it? I don't want these kids to just be in the rap game. I want them to bring something to it. So it's only too much when people are just doing it for the money, and then everybody starts doing it. Because then it ain't special no more.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
I had a question on that note, right? So this is way later on my list, but since you brought it up, with rap consistently being posited as like the biggest genre in the world, it's the most popular thing, right?
Right.
Wouldn't that suggest that the only way to go from here is down since it's so accessible and so popular? What's the fallout of rap?
No, because everybody forgets. Here's what people forget. They made that statement about, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
A year ago or 2 years ago when they made that hip-hop is now. Here's what these motherfuckers don't know. The media finally made that statement. But what the fucking world don't know is hip-hop has always been there. My thing is, why would they mention it at a time? Yeah, it was always there. But why would they mention it at a time when it's at its weakest form of artistic presentation? What I mean by that is, I can relate to mumble rap. And I said that to some kids when they got scared because now this 55-year-old man can understand their fucking music. I said to the kids, I can relate to mumble rap. And it just threw them off. It was like, Mr. DMC, what do you mean by that? I said, because what they say about your music, they said about mine. When we came out hip-hop, hibbity-hibbity, the whole world was like, the motherfuckers ain't saying nothing. The only difference between y'all and my generation, and let's not get it twisted, the typical rapper or MC was 12 to 21 years old. When they said y'all ain't saying nothing, we said, huh, what? We ain't saying nothing? And we came with some of the greatest shit that ever was being portrayed. They made that statement now. When you think about hip-hop, you think about the monotony of it. You think about materialism and this and that. The same way that hip-hop is now, it has always been there. But the representatives of it was Chuck D, a Public Enemy, KRS-One, Will Smith, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, motherfuckers that came from the street but wasn't drinking, smoking, and just having sex. And globally, I'm talking about 1980, 1990, you went over fucking seas, you go to Europe, you go to Asia, this shit has always, it might have been bigger back then. But they made it that statement now because they're not paying attention to those rock songs that are just as great as Rage Against the Machine and Led Zeppelin and Alice in Chains. So that statement that they made it in the media, but my boys in Italy, my boys in Africa was like, yo, shit, this shit been like this since the fucking 80s.
Right.
But why didn't they make that when more, and what I'm saying is, we had our NWAs, we had our Loop, but the majority, the faces of hip-hop was dudes like KRS-One saying, you must learn, and Public Enemy saying, don't believe the hype. It has always been there. From this goes back to your prior question. When the fucking companies started noticing the outstanding sales of the shit, so they're going to make that statement now. But that's what I mean. They made that statement because of the success of the download and the popularity of Drake and all of these motherfuckers and all, Little Baby and all of that. But they didn't talk about the popularity of P.E. and Naughty by Nature. This shit was the same. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to answer your question. Once it becomes successful as a business, you know what I'm saying? If we want more positive rap to sell on the level of fucking Drake, then the people funding it just gotta put some more marketing dollars behind it.
Right, because like literally the people posit it like it's impossible for rap of a different blend like that to be popular. When if you look back at just a couple decades, right? If a couple people start doing it and a couple people pop and sell a mill doing it, then everyone is gonna start doing that shit again. It's literally.
And that's the only thing that's the only thing that's with hip hop right now. Chuck D said 15 years ago, hip hop has become easy now. It used to be, oh shit, you see Rakim, damn, I can't do that shit. But you could come along and be creative, innovative, and have great ideas. You could stand next to Rakim doing the thing that you're doing, but not doing his. Now it's like, oh shit, Little Baby made that sound, that flow, that record. I could do that too, and that's all everybody's doing right now. And I remember my 10th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Burbage. He said, and this is what's going on right now in entertainment. He says, when everybody thinks, nobody thinks. Easiness, simpleness, follow the norm, copycat, cut and paste, and all of that shit has become accepted. So there was a time where there's so much bad shit on the internet that it dominates everything. So you become hypnotized, you become programmed. That's why I don't like program directors. Hey, DMC, I'm the program director. I run the other direction. Same way we've been programmed to listen to mumble rap is the same way, but it takes sacrifice. You have to spend some dollars. You would have to recreate the diversity of Run-DMC, NWA, Tribe Called Quest, Cool G Rap and Polo, and Public Enemy, for example, would have to take the radio station, the section that loves hip-hop, every day to make parents don't understand popular again. They would have to play it every day, every 20 minutes on all the hip-hop radio stations across the nation. And I guarantee you, in 5 weeks, all of these kids in the hood would be writing Parents Can't Understand like Will Smith.
Yep.
If we put the effort into it. And that's a known fact. The only reason why, because you go to every state now and you hear the same records. Somebody was saying, how great Kendrick Lamar is, and he is. He's phenomenal. But I set everybody up. They don't play him in New York. Kids in Queens, these kids in their hood, they don't know Kendrick Lamar, but they know Little Baby.
They listen to Young Boy, they listen to like Tekka, stuff like that.
Yeah, but play a Young Boy doing what KRS-One did every day on every station on hot rotation for the next 3 months and watch what happens to these kids when they go in the studio. So we as artists knew we had the control. And what I mean by the control is when CDs came out, our label, Profile Records, said they wasn't going to make vinyl anymore. So me and Run and Jay said, we quit. So Profile laughed at us. They'll be back in a week. But this was right before Down with the King dropped, too. They'll be back. 1 week go by, you ain't hear peep out of Run-DMC. 2 weeks go by, you ain't hear peep out of Run-DMC. 3 weeks go by, you ain't hear peep out of Run-DMC. 4 weeks go by, you ain't peep. But the 5th week, they call us back, okay, guys, we'll press vinyl. Because we said, there's no hip-hop if it ain't no DJ, motherfuckers. Y'all ain't gonna y'all not gonna make vinyl and just press up CDs because it's making y'all so much money, because now y'all can go back and put on CD everything you put on vinyl and resell it again and stuff like that, and you're gonna forget about the foundation of this shit. So that's the power that we have. That's what I'm saying. When you come into this business now, you should be like, okay, I'll give you this album, but I want the same amount of money going into. I'll give you an album of go to the club and don't go to school and have sex, but I want the same amount of input into the album about going to school, having safe sex, and being respectable. That's what's missing right now.
Quick question. Does it bug you out to see that vinyl is resurging from the dust like that? Like it's having another life? Like I work for a vinyl company. That's how we doing this interview. Does that trip you out to see vinyl live again like this?
Well, it's funny. Last year, I released with my new band, I released a limited edition vinyl for Record Store Day. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the they have a conference every year, and what's his name from the White Stripes? He has a vinyl record plant in Detroit.
Jack White.
Yeah, Jack White. He was a keynote speaker. I was a keynote speaker also and everything. But then I heard about the resurgence. But the people who always respected it never let it go. I look at vinyl like Go-Go is in D.C. Rob, you got it. But one thing, it was the people who will never let Go-Go die in D.C. That's what the vinyl people. But what's happening now is older folks and especially the young people. You got to remember what's important about vinyl. Vinyl was a 3D experience. You hold it, you could feel it. It was visual, and you listen to it. Now you just push a button to get the music, and it's so disposable. It don't mean nothing. It's not a part of you anymore. So now these kids are going back and picking up these albums, and they're opening it, and they're reading the liner notes, and they're looking at the artwork. About 3 years ago at the Boston Museum of Art, we did a conference called The Forgotten Art of Album Covers. And it was young people and it was old people. So now, the reason why vinyl's having a resurgence is because of the fact that music is the most powerful force on the face of the earth right now. But music has gotten to a point where I need something more than a download. So vinyl, being one of the fucking most ancient, powerful, mystical art, like this is some fucking supernatural superhero shit that's on the face of the earth. People who now are discovering it is getting an experience. See, music is an experience, but right now music is just a push of a button, download or listen to experience. Albums, you hold them, you feel them, you read them, and you look at them. So it's becoming that experience. So it's not surprising to me. It's the same thing is happening now with the resurgence of vinyl, and it's in baby steps, but it's the same thing that's happened to people when you first picked up a George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic album. George Clinton gave you a lot to look at and feel and experience. So I think music now, technology is good, but what's happening, what technology is lacking is experience. Technology makes it accessible. There it is. But people are now, they want something more out of their musical experience. And that's why vinyl will always be special, you know, and hopefully we can get it back to a place where everybody appreciates it again.
Where, so we speaking about...
Vinyl is cool. Yeah, vinyl is cooler than a digital download. But a digital download is just easier and simpler. See, easy and simpler also starts playing into the creation and production of the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so while we speaking about vinyl and bringing things back, right, I want to speak on Jam Master Jay for a moment, because even around Raising Hell, right, and even through all y'all career, like the label always kept him off the cover, didn't really give him the production credit, even though he was like a pivotal figure to keep everyone bonded, right? And so when Run-DMC was...
all this shit, yeah.
Right, when Run-DMC was super popping, y'all still came from an era where the MC was secondary to the DJ because everybody wanted to be a DJ.
Yep.
But what did it mean for y'all as MCs to become super popular, while the DJ as well? But y'all watched that transition happen from the DJ being the staple to the MC being the staple. What was it like watching that shift?
It was weird because we didn't understand. Well, until we looked at it from a business standpoint, it became about the front man. But people don't understand that when Run-DMC came along, it was Run-DMC and Jam Master Jay.
Mm-hmm.
It was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It was DJ Charlie Chase, Tony. Hold on 1 second. That's my wife calling. Hold on.
Word.
Hold on 1 second.
Gotcha.
I gotta hold and accept. Yeah, you still here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so the reason why that is, there's no hip hop if there's no music. So it was always DJ first because it's music first. Then it's me. You know what I'm saying? So watching that transition was heartbreaking. Because now we don't need the DJ, we just want, and it also became about, we don't even want the four guys. We just want the lead rapper guys, front man. So the business colluded and destroyed that too. But that's why when Run-DMC came along, the group was Run-DMC. Prior to me writing the Jam Master Jay song, J.A. Wild, the letters of a name, that came out of a need of a necessity because we were showing up. We was opening for Marvin Gaye. We was opening for Parliament Funkadelic. We was opening for ZZ Top. We was opening for Lou Reed. So people, and this is before albums. This was just the singles. This was 84, 85. We showing up at the gigs, and it's like, okay, that's Run, that's DMC, but who's the motherfucker in the back? So I was like, oh, y'all don't understand what this is. The DJ started the music, and we rap to the music that he brings. So how was the transition? And it's heartbreaking. It's hard. It's not hip hop if you don't have a DJ really DJing while the rapper's rapping. But if you go to a hip hop show and you see a guy with his DJ just pushing buttons or he going to a tape, no, that shit ain't hip hop. That's a motherfucker rapping to a motherfucker push a tape. They do it. Hip hop is a Jam Master Jay. When we did Live 8, when the wind was fucking blowing, Jam Master Jay never used the DAT machine or playback. So if we could be in the middle of a hurricane, we would have to put fucking quarters and half-dollar pieces on the needles to keep the needle on the vinyl. So for us, it was heartbreaking. This shit ain't about me and Run. It's about Jam Master Jay DJing and dropping fucking beat samples and fucking loops from fucking your favorite rock bands that made vinyls in the 60s and 70s and 80s. That's the art form of hip-hop. So it was heartbreaking to see this bullshit that's going on now. And even when it comes to DJs playing now, technology made it so that DJ Chuck Chill Out don't gotta carry his whole attic full with 3,000 records to the show. He can just show up with the hard drive or whatever. But you are not, I repeat, you are not a real DJ unless you ever touch vinyl in your life. Your CDR thing and that those new machines is that. DJs appreciate that. But you're not a DJ to me if you never took a record out of a fucking sleeve and felt the wax, put it on a turntable, and then used the mixer. So it was heartbreaking, man. Because nobody cares about it, because all they're concerned about is the fucking money. And it's easy to fucking get money. And positively and negatively. So it's heartbreaking to see them disrespect the art form of a DJ. And but the foundation of hip-hop is the music, the record. Our DJ's better than all these bands. We used to say that while we was opening for Marvin Gaye and Confunction and the Gap Band. And it wasn't a diss to them personally. It was a self-esteem. It was enthusiasm for we appreciate and we think that we're legitimate. And we're going to say this shit over and over until you believe it. That's why Raising Hell was so dynamic. We had to make every record on that album fucking believable.
Word. So, returning to the album, right? There's a certain thing I kind of wanted to push on a little bit. So, this was y'all make or break moment. It was like people were kind of looking at you like ready for y'all to fall off. And like a lot of other folks, conversely, you felt like people that were holding it down at first weren't holding it down like that no more. Or like were coming a little weaker than they were supposed to. So y'all had this pressure, right? So the sort of hardness, with the positivity, but the hardness that y'all presented to represent Hollis the way y'all wanted to, at the same time, you spoke about the comic books. You used to get bullied for comic book nerds. So I'm saying, like, with the persona that you put forward, how much of that sort of like macho hard shit was kind of a front to put on and survive? Or to do right by the hood?
It wasn't a front. What it was is Raising Hell was just our attempt to impress the Cold Crush. The Cold Crush 4, DJ Chuck, Grandmaster Caz, and the motherfuckers. Those dudes, when that battle tape, Fantastic 5 versus the Cold Crush 4 at Harlem World came out, and it did something, because you got to understand where the Cold Crush was at. All of their other groups was making records. Treacherous 3, Furious 5, Sugar Hill Gang, Crash Crew, Funky 4+1. Cold Crush 4 came from that same world, that same universe, but they was never successful on records. And they didn't even care about the records. That whole shit was, we gonna bust your ass with our live performances. So for us, in the midst of us, KRS-One was sending shots. Kings lose crowns. Because I call myself the King of Rock. He said, I'm a teacher. Kings lose crowns. Reigns in. Everybody had their little thing that they were saying, not so directly to Run-DMC, but we knew the competitors of hip-hop. So the reason why I bring Cold Crush up is, Cold Crush didn't give a fuck about the fucking status of their fucking relevancy when it came to fuck. It was about who could DJ and MC the best. So Raising Hell is a phenomenal album because it's our version of a Cold Crush tape. routines. It's tricky to rock a rhyme. And my thing was, yo, Joe, yo, Jay, we ain't got a curse to be powerful. So I'm coming up with fucking one-liners, and I'm coming up with rhymes and routines because I'm trying to impress Grandmaster Caz. You know, from Peter Piper, Pick Pepper. If you go listen to Raising Hell and then go put on Cold Crush, go on YouTube and pull up old Cold Crush routines and pull up Force MCs before they were the Force MCs and made singing songs when Stevie D and Mercury were rappers. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to say, fuck the studio. We're going to do on this album, this vinyl album, what we would do in the park when we was 15. Because when you do that, those are the things that will always be new every year. You know what I'm saying? So the intention of raising it competitively and all of that was, yo, let's do, because everybody was, because we successful now, everybody started saying Run-DMC selling out. We said, oh, we selling out, motherfuckers? No, we the best at, our main intent was to be the best DJ and MC thing you would ever see. And I think we accomplished that. We didn't want to be the first to go gold, first to none of that shit. What we wanted to do is when you came to see this thing called hip-hop, we wanted you to say that was the best presentation of this hip-hop art form you ever saw. But that came from me running Jay's intent to impress the Cold Crush. We just wanted the Cold Crush to approve us. And that's why Raising Hell was so great.
Word. So tying back a couple things we talked about, right? I'm concerned with the ideas of physical spaces and physical mediums being lost the more digital we become. And you speak of that where it's like, you know, records and transition and shit, that shit coming back. And you speak in classrooms and go visit schools. And I'm around a lot of folks that do youth work, like workshops, slam poetry, recording, all that stuff. And I've done some of that stuff myself too. So I'm in those spheres and I see that happen. But I'm concerned more about like just the regular kid, whether you're in the hood, the burbs, wherever, like, do these kids still cipher? Like, do they still do lunchroom shit? When you talk to these kids, what are they doing? How do they engage with hip hop that's not just on the phone?
I know. They don't. I tell the kids every day, I say, y'all want to do something phenomenal? And this is, I try to simplify for it. I say, take your fucking iPhone, go get 100 speakers, find a way to put your iPhone with your music up, go into a park, pop the light pole open, plug your iPhone up, because I don't think you're going to do the turntables and vinyls, but if they were just to start here, they would get it. And fucking go perform your shit, go do your shit. They don't do that now. Everything is on the fucking phone. Everything, the relevancy of their art form, and I'm talking about this, the thing that they want to do, is determined by somebody else's fucking opinion. And that's a damn shame. You know what I'm saying? I said, we didn't ask for permission. I said, we didn't ask for permission to start this billion-dollar industry. We had all of this music in us, and we figured out creative, innovative ways to be fucking heard. So we popped the light pole open, plugged up extension cord, carried some big-ass speakers, crate the records to a park, and we put on concerts for free. What y'all need to see in that, that's old. That's back in the days. I said, no, it ain't. That's futuristic. Even now, when we were DJing at block parties and park parties in the 70s before Rappers Delight was ever made, we was already on stage in Madison Square Garden. And then when I hit them with that, they start thinking. They don't see themselves as the initiators. They see themselves as participants who have to be controlled by an outside force. They don't cipher. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. Out of 100 kids that would say, yo, DMC, let me freestyle for you. Out of 100, only about 8 of them didn't curse. Only about 8 of them came with a flow that didn't sound like Lil Yachty. And only 8 of them didn't talk about bitches, hoes, and fucking money. Out of 100 kids, why? Because those devices that's in their hands is what they're basing their own self-esteem on. It's not a problem with mumble rap. It's not a problem with the attitudes of hip-hop. Because of hip-hop or the music, these kids got deeper fucking mental health, emotional self-esteem problems. I told the kids, the coolest kid in this classroom is the kid that don't want Adidas like DMC and Jordans like everybody else. The room, you can hear a pin drop. But then I looked at that one little kid that had on some fucking shoes I never saw and the weirdest fucking sweater on. He had his head held up high. But the toughest dude in the class started slumping his shoulders and put his tail between his legs like a scared dog. These kids don't sight. My shit was, when I heard Cool G rap, Big fucking Daddy Kane, and Bumpy Knuckles, I had to go home and say, oh shit, in addition to having tricky, I got a right fucking hit and run. They calling me commercial, but when it's time to drop bars, I'm the devastator by controlling DMC. And can't nobody mess around with me. I'm the king of all of this shit. Not just the king of rock. I'm the king of rock, rap, and of rap. I deal what I feel, and it feels fine. And if it's, you know what I'm saying? These kids don't get inspired by, oh shit, like, I had to tell the kids, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, none of y'all in this room is putting the fear of God into Drake and Kendrick. What do you mean? You ain't making something that's making Kendrick say, or tell your management, I can't tour for a week, I gotta go to the lab. Or make Drake say, damn, I gotta change my whole shit up. We were standing on the side of the stage in 1988. Run-DMC, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, EPMD, Public Enemy, and Eric B. and Rakim all on tour, 1988, Hampton, Virginia. And Rakim was on stage. Me, Chuck, Paris, and Will, we standing on the side of the stage watching Rakim, and we all like, I'll see y'all guys later after the show. No, I'm not coming out tonight. But we didn't go in the room and sit there and say, let me do what Rakim did. We looked at ourselves, how can I make what I do compete with that? So that stuff that is, Michael Jackson told me when Run-DMC met Michael Jackson in 80, I think it was 88. He wanted to do a record with us, so he called us to the studio. That's when he had his studio in Santa Monica in LA. And he loved it. He said, I love what you guys did with Aerosmith and all of that. But Mike said, I love Peter Piper. And then he said this to us. He said, I love when you guys dissed me in your video. In the King Rock video where Run snatches his glove off the podium in the museum, throws it on the ground, and it's a big close-up of my sneakers stepping on Michael Jackson's glove. That was on MTV for the whole world to see, and everybody was like, oh my God, they dissed Michael Jackson. But when I met Michael Jackson said to me, Run, and DJ Hurricane, you guys are great. I loved when you dissed me in your video. So we were scratching our heads. He said, I didn't take it as a form of disrespect. He said, what I appreciate is the enthusiasm you have for yourself. So these kids are not ciphering because all of the kids in the lunchroom now sound the same with the same flow and talking about the same thing. So everybody's going to sit there and pay attention to them. Not one kid is going to walk in there and bust a motherfucker's ass, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking Pooba. You know what I'm saying? There's not a kid thinking, okay, everybody's doing a little yachty thing. I'm a create, like, even if they didn't know, I'm going to create this image of this guy called Pooba. And I'm going to drop it around. What goes around goes back around, yeah. When that shit happens, all those kids in the lunchroom don't show up anymore. The only ones that show up the next day is the ones that go home and do something about it. So our acceptance is based on the devices that's in these people's hands and not what's in their heart and head. Like me, I always came from the heart and head. I'm not the toughest, but like I don't rhyme like Eminem and fucking Jay-Z. So I'm not going to try to waste 16 bars to impress your motherfuckers. I'm going to hit you with 2 lines that define my existence in every generation when my presence is in the room. I'm the king of rock and there is none higher. And I ask the kids, what does none higher mean? Nobody's higher than you. Yes, for eternity. So that don't exist no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, let me just make a record like Eminem because Eminem sold 18 million albums. I don't want the 18 million people, kids don't see this, don't want the 18 million that brought Eminem. You want the 18 million that didn't.
Word.
They're not creating things to get those. And they look at, whoa, I didn't think of it like that.
Word. Another thing just makes me think about this, right? So look, in the era that y'all was popping in, right? It's like, you know, y'all put up that pro-black shit was A1. Like, the crowds was black. The music was black. The jeans was black. The jacket was black. Your glasses was black. Everything was black. But now it's like, listenership for rap is very stratified by class and race even further, to where it feels like everyone has access, but it's even more divided than it's ever been, right? So for y'all to put that era of like black shit on y'all back, to see this now, like, could y'all see this coming back then when y'all finally did cross over into Billboard and play with like hella white crowds and go overseas? Like, did you see it getting this divided now? Could you see this coming?
Nah, not at all, because here's what's funny about that. We had just as many white fans that were fans of, I'm proud to be black, y'all, and that's a fact, y'all. And if you try, white people come up to me and say, yo, that's my favorite shit. You know what I'm saying? But see, the representation of it was unified. When motherfuckers start by, let me just get the money, and let me just get the fortune and fame, and let me just be seen, it's going to create division, because motherfuckers are scratching and clawing, and they're not giving a fuck about the person standing next to them. So we didn't see that. We kind of seen it coming in the 90s, when you would go to a Public Enemy concert, and 95% of the audience is white. And the white people didn't Don't Believe the Hype or Fight the Power. Those white people took black people's ideas and used it for themselves. And now the stupid ass black people are fuck Chuck or fuck going to school and all. That's what we didn't see that coming. We used to be appreciated. There was a time when, it was a time when the kids in the hood saw it as a form of power and prestige to have the name of the university on your fucking sweatshirt instead of the name of some fucking foreign company that we spending all these fucking dollars out our neighborhood just to have fucking prestige on your block. There was a time when you would wear Howard University, Brown University, you know what I'm saying, Medgar Evers College on your t-shirts and your hoodies, and it was respected. Yo, that's dope. Now, motherfuckers is wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all these bullshit that don't even care about our fucking company. We didn't see that coming. Not at all. But we knew that the power was there. Like I said, I got white people that say, yo, we were scared to death to do it, but when y'all came to Alabama, when the Raising Hell tour came to fucking Florida, when the Raising Hell tour came to Chicago, we was the only 4 white guys up front with all the black people at the foot of the stage grabbing on your Adidas. We realized nobody fucked with us. So no, we didn't see that coming, because we not only wore black, everything about us was fucking black. But it was the Beastie Boys wasn't a white rock group trying to be black. They were white rappers doing what white rappers do in a way that black rappers would respect them. They didn't dress like us, act like us, drink Old English. The motherfuckers drunk Brass Monkey. You know what I'm saying? But real recognizes real. The Beastie Boys never got booed in those all-black venues on the race. When we did this Alabama, when we went to Macon, Georgia, the Beastie Boys got applause because they wasn't white dudes trying to act black, but their presentation was done in a respectable way where, like, we wore Cadillac Dookie medallions. Mike D took the Volkswagen emblem off of Volkswagen, threw it on a plastic chain, and stepped on stage in front of us and folded his arms. That's gangster. Because he ain't trying to wear a Dookie rope with the ice up in them, but we respected the fucking presentation of it. So, I mean, it's so crazy now. And another thing being said, our whole attitude and mode of operation was respected by punk rock. Blondie, a punk rock group, made a record called Rapture, talking about a motherfucker called Fat Fat Freddy and Grandmaster Flash that only her hardcore fans knew. But the majority of fans that looked at Blondie as a rock rap, rock is stuff. White people do rock and black people do this hip hop thing. But Blondie here in New York City, you go downtown to the club, Africa Bambaataa, Lou Reed, Run-DMC, Madonna, the Beastie Boys, Basquiat, Keith Haring, Blondie, you know what I'm saying? The Ramones, we were all in the same venues. So when Run-DMC did King of Rock, when we did Rock Box, when we did the Walk This Way thing, what happened in Walk This Way didn't just happen in the video. People say, again, when Steven Tyler knocked down that wall in that video, that didn't happen just in the video, it happened in the world. We took away that wall where the black kids and the white kids can come together. When you look at hip-hop right now, the music sucks so bad, but what helps this generation, you know what I'm saying, what helps this generation is that all of these kids are now dressing like punk rockers. Outrageous with the tattoos and stuff like that. So if I do that today and I put out a bullshit record, I'm automatically going to get 200 million likes. And my song could be bullshit, but all I got to do is act the role. See, we wasn't fronting. We were really that. So that entity came to life. Nowadays, everybody is fronting. See, I could never critique another person's creativity, but we had fucking talent because we put work in. We didn't just make a record, throw it up on the fucking internet, and have an overnight hit. We had to put work in. We had to get up in front of people, see what worked, see what didn't work. Now, I don't even, you know, what's funny is about 8 years ago, me and DJ Johnny Juice, the Public Enemy, we was going to put out a mumble rap record. I was going to create a whole new alias, and you would never see me. And we was going to put a mumble rap record out. So we made about 2 or 3 of them, but then we stopped and trashed the whole shit. And everybody was go, why? Because we were scared of it working. I would have been fronting, but I would have been highly successful from fronting. I was highly successful from not fronting because I had to put work in. I had to get dejected. I had to get we had to sit there and work and write and compose and sit there with Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin would say, no, do that, put this over there. Nowadays, I can just create some fucking names. Like, one of my jokes is, everybody, you can be little this, little that, big this, big that. Shit, you just have to be creative with your name, you know what I'm saying? With your presentation.
Word.
So it's just so weird now that we broke down racial divisions. We broke down artistic divisions. You know, every day I'm on the road. I tour with Dave Navarro. I'm on stage with Sebastian Bach every night. I jump up on stage with Aerosmith still to this day. So those guys are looking at me going, man, what you guys did. Everybody's doing something, but nobody's doing anything. Everybody's doing hip-hop, but nobody's doing it or making something happen. You know, it's funny. Like I said, we did Proud to Be Black. We did Son of Blyford. Just so the white people know that shit word for word. And those are the best things to motherfuckers. You know, they ride with the music that's out now. Why? Because it's everywhere. You know, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm starting to like this record because they playing it. And you have a right to like it. I'm not putting down a person's, I can never critique another person's creativity. But once you get that power, what are you going to do with it? That's what's lacking right now. The responsibility of allowing everything to exist in a unified presentation where everybody's eating.
Word. I know the words like acclaim and legendary and stuff like that keep popping up, especially when we talk about y'all group and this album. But as time's gone on, it seems as though you've been completely removing yourself from the idea of celebrity at all. Like you're disillusioned with it. Do those terms mean anything to you now? And I have a follow up to that when you answer that.
No, don't call me a celebrity because I am something they could never be. So, the reason I understand what it is. I'm not saying it shouldn't exist because it does. What I mean by this, and it's plain, it's easy to just kill the fucking. None of us are fucking special. In the story. None of us is just because I made records or just because this motherfucker could run and get $20 million as an athlete. You're not fucking special. You know who's fucking special? The fucking teachers that go to work every day to try to teach our kids. The fucking therapists that's trying to help our fucking soldiers. The fucking doctors who fucking work because they want to save lives and not get a big check. And you don't have to be Dr. Phil. Those are the celebrities. We don't celebrate who should be celebrated. We used to, but now fortune and fame and fucking money and fucking our ideas of success has changed. No, there's financial success, there's business success, but personal success and moral success and all those things used to be standing right up there. Like, go look at a Bob Marley interview. He'll put it all into perspective. What do you mean by rich? What do you want? Rich because I have a lot of money? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's easy to get rich. Do something stupid, go make a movie, go do some porn, go sell some drugs. The methods is easy to get fucking money. So, you know, I was never into the idea of, you know, being a celebrity or being fucking famous. You don't know who's famous to me? Fucking Crash Crew. Kumo D. Bambaataa, those motherfuckers are famous. You know what I'm saying? Those are celebrities. But then once I got to that point, I realized, damn, we all are one. The kid that brought the Run-DMC record is no different from the kid that used to go see Flash play in the park. The kid that brought Eminem or the kid that brought fucking Wiz Khalifa's record is no different from the kid that lives in Compton or the kid that lives in Beverly Hills. So those ideas, you know, it's not about the fortune and fame for me.
You keep bringing it up, so I just wanted to ask, like, Bambaataa in particular, like, when I think of legendary figures, obviously he's one of the inventors of hip-hop, but he also had all those horrid allegations about abuse back in the day. Like, when you heard that shit, how did you feel about that shit?
You know what? It didn't hurt me because everybody got something, and it just let me know, motherfucker, people are people. Humans are human. You know what I'm saying? I was, from everything that happened to whoever it was, known people, some athletes, the presidents, this and that. When it happened, now, it could have been a point where I was sorry because this ain't supposed to happen because he's bad in hip-hop. But see, I have to take that away. Take it away from being a pioneer. Take it away from being a leader. Take him away from creating Zulu Nation. At the end of the day, he's a fucking human. So it didn't hurt me. It was like, wow, I would have never expect that. That's what I'm saying. The celebrity bullshit is bullshit. We set this up for ourselves. What happened to Bam is no different from what happens to the teacher or the CEO or the police officer that gets found out that he was doing some other shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's because Bam ain't fucking special. Neither am I. I'm an alcoholic who has OCD and suppressed emotion. So I can't look at Bam and fucking say, oh, that's fuck this and that. That's to just let me know, okay, he's not Africa Bambaataa. I don't even know his real name. That's who he really is. The Bam shit is just something great that he did.
Word.
That's why I can't fuck with the celebrity shit. Like, none of these motherfuckers is special. Like, I go places and my boys be like, Michael Jordan is over there. I'll be like, yo, go over there and fucking ask him. Don't use me for that because he's Michael Jordan. I don't like basketball. You know what I'm saying? I like Michael, but I don't care about how great he was at ball because I like Spider-Man. They look at me and then they're okay, and I say, you go over there. Your interaction with that individual should be your own.
Word. And as somebody who is,
like, go ahead.
As somebody who has, suffered and survived addiction and, suicidal thoughts and trying to keep up with the celebrity lifestyle and you had it and realizing it was bullshit, right? You had to break down and rebuild all that. And going back to all these things we've talked about in this conversation, it's wild that you see like these facets of, struggling with mental health and addiction. Yep. It's incentivized and it's marketed upon. So people are finding community in that, right? And you came from a time where you had to kind of hide those things in silence because it was still very heavily stigmatized. It still is today, but there are some avenues that have been open for that, right? So can you offer any advice in particular to folks that are in this industry with visibility who are suffering through that?
Well, what happened with me was this. My partner, Run, had 10 years of a successful TV show, right? So the first year, everybody was waiting for DMC to come on, but I didn't. The second season, everybody waiting for DMC to come on, but I didn't. The third season, everybody's waiting for DMC to come on, but I didn't. So by that time, it was, oh shit, Ronnie Russell jerk DMC, this and that, or where's DMC at? He ain't living like Run and this and whatever. They had their conceptions and their ideas about what her. First of all, the reason why Run-DMC broke up, Jay's dead. We can't replace our drummer. But the reason why you don't see me with Run is because of this. When Down with the King came out, the record put us back on top. Like I said, it did for Run-DMC what Walk This Way did for Aerosmith. The day Down with the King dropped and the video dropped, the next day I woke up wanting to kill myself. I didn't know why, but everybody on the outside of me was like, yo, lifestyles of the rich and famous, see, you're a celebrity, this and that. Your career has been reinvigorated. In the 80s, we was getting 80s payday. Now in the 90s, we getting what these new guys are getting and all of that. But why did I wake up and want to kill myself? I had no idea. So I got to the point that I wanted to kill myself. But before I wanted to leave this world, I wanted to tell people about Darryl. Not the DMC King of Rock, first to go gold, first to go platinum. No. I wanted to tell you about the young boy who was born in Hollis, Queens, May 31st, 1964. Oh, that's all I know about my birthday. So I called my mom up. I asked her some details about my birthday. She tells me I was born at 11:30. I weighed 8 pounds, 10 ounces, and I was born in Kings County Hospital. I love you. Hung up the phone. An hour goes by. She calls back with my father. We have something else to tell you. Okay, what is it? I thought it was going to be you was born in a snowstorm and it was a power outage, but they still gave birth to you. Something nostalgic like that. No, she hit me with this. You was a month old when we brought you home, and you're adopted, but we love you. Bye. So I find out when I'm already depressed, then I find out that I'm adopted. That Byford and Vanden ain't really my birth father and mother. But then it didn't end there, because then fucking Jam Master Jay gets shot and killed. Oh, but it didn't end there, because then Byford died. So I was at that point, Run-DMC breaks up, Run's going on, he's on TV, he's still the celebrity guy Run. So 10 years go by, people see me, yo, DMC, man, what's up with you and Run? What? Yo, there's no beef, so where you been? Well, I just got out of rehab. Now, they came at me because I'm the mighty King of Rock DMC devastated mic controller, right? But when I say I just got out of rehab and I'm in therapy right now, whole conversation takes, really? Yo, could you tell me really more about that? And I was telling people what I've been through. I went to therapy. I found out I was adopted when I was 35. I found out I was a foster kid. I used to drink 40s, this and that. You know, every time I would tell somebody what happened to me as a person, two things would happen. Oh my God, DMC, I've never told anybody this. Me too. Or, oh my God, DMC, I've never told anybody this. My daughter's going through that. My wife's going through that. Everybody was hiding. So what happened to me was I realized something. My whole career, I always tell you how things was going good, and that had a powerful impact on the audience. I realized I started telling everybody how things was going bad for me, had an even more positive impact on my audience. So as a guy that fucking struggled with suicidal, depression, anxiety, OCD, suppressed emotions, anxiety, I got all that shit. But I didn't know I had it because I was so fucking busy drinking fucking 40 ounces Jack Daniels Jim Beam and Hennessy to hide all of that. So it's cool to have 2 or 3, 4 drinks, but there's something wrong emotionally and mentally if you gotta fucking drink all fucking day. So I didn't know that there was things that was wrong, which was okay to be wrong, no different from having a cold, backache, the need for prescription glasses, a toothache, I gotta go see my chiropractor. I didn't know that shit is normal. So everybody's ashamed. But I realized the same way I wasn't ashamed of being DMC from Hollis, Queens to go to St. John's University, I'm not going to be ashamed of being DMC with anxiety, OCD, and suppressed emotions. Because what happens to me is this. I realize what these people are going through. When Kurt Cobain killed himself, wow, I didn't understand that. But then when Chris Cornell did, I did. But then when Chester killed himself on Chris Cornell's birthday, I really understood that. So I realized that my position of this is not to be no celebrity. You know, artistically, there's business and there's artistic responsibility. So for me, I realized that I'm sick and tired of the pain and the hurt. I do this for Chester, Chris, and Kurt. Death is appealing, so with death I flirt. I tell the world how I feel, and they think I'm a jerk. I'm not bugging, I'm struggling. All this guzzling is puzzling. So I stopped hanging with Jack and Jim to fight in the battle so we all can win. So my representation in all of this, the reason why I'm walking this way and the reason why I walk this way is to show you that there's a way that you can walk too. The reason why I made Tricky is not just it's a dope song, to let you know life could be tricky, my brothers and sisters, but it ain't gotta be hard. So when I start talking as Daryl, who happens to be the guy DMC, that's when shit changes for all of us. You can like me for being a king of rock. There is nothing higher. That shit looks powerful and that's all good. But when the king of rock tells you, yo, I'm weak, I'm depressed, you know what I'm saying? I have insecurity. That's even more powerful.
Wow. Oh, man. On that, I just got one more question, and it's like an imagination question. Yep. And I thank you for all that, and I thank you again for this time, like, for real. Like, I make music, I rap, like I did for you back in the day, like that talent show shit, and I just... Yeah. This is all stuff that I needed to hear.
You gotta keep making it, you know what I'm saying? Now, from a business standpoint, there's a way to make a record to get in. But once you get in, you gotta dominate with who you really are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make that radio record, but then I don't even give that advice no more because in the 2000s, I was helping my manager's brother shop an act, shop an artist now. And I don't understand, when that beat comes on, why you gotta say the same thing that Little Yachty said, but that's the way it is. I appreciate that. But I remember shopping in the 2000s, it was like 2010, 2012, in that time period, and all of the A&R, well, not the A&R guys, because that don't exist anymore, all the guys at the labels with the signing power would say, I would need a radio record. And this artist he had kept getting turned down because the artist that he had was fucking like both deaf. And he was young. He was like only 17. Like, brilliant. Yo, let's put a $10 million budget behind this guy and fucking create another Tupac or whatever, you have it. But my manager's brother got frustrated and he just let it go. It all came out in the 10th meeting when he just buzzed, what the fuck you mean a radio record? You keep saying fuck, all your motherfuckers keep saying radio record. Stuck MCs was a fucking radio record. The shit was so deaf that they had to play it on the radio. That's crazy. And I was like, wow, Stuck MCs had no music on it. It wasn't the message. It wasn't Planet Rock. You know what I'm saying? Stuck MCs was just a beat, me and Run rhyming. And my rhyme was only like, I had one little short rhyme at the end that kicked everything that came out prior to that.
Okay, so let's say like Raising Hell didn't break through. The Aerosmith shit didn't work. Y'all didn't break the charts, and it was over for y'all, right? You could be right back at St. John's. A million things you could have did. But in this sense, if that album didn't break, it's like hip-hop really could have died, maybe. So, like, if that was the case, like, do you think rap would have been doomed to a fad? What do you think? What would you have done? What would the crew have done? And what do you think would have happened to hip-hop if this album didn't do what it did?
Hip-hop was in perfect hands. Because fucking Public Enemy was coming. And it takes a nation, the millions to hold us back. So if it wasn't us, it would have been them to do it. That's why when people ask me the greatest rap group ever, to me, it's Public Enemy, is because what they did with this music. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With the actual music, with P.E., what Chuck D did. And that's because Chuck D, even though he was young, he was, 22 when he made that album? He was so mature. You know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't Run-DMC's Raising Hell, it would have been P.E. But here's what's funny. Chuck D said the Raising Hell gave birth to the P.E.s. And to the... Think about the groups. Naughty by Nature, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, even NWA. All these motherfuckers wanted to be us. But they came along and did it with their personality. So hip-hop, Raising Hell, but we was fortunate, not lucky. We was fortunate that we was able to make that complete album, from Walk This Way to fucking My Adidas to Hit It Run to all of those records that Proud to Be, all, you know what I'm saying? But if it wasn't Raising Hell, I guarantee you it would have been the P.E. album. Because P.E.'s success was kind of like ours. When they dropped that first album that everybody was all right, You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, oh, these motherfuckers are saying we can't do this, and they came up with phenomenal, legendary things. So I don't think without Run-DMC, hip hop would have been all right. If it wasn't P.E.'s album, I mean, to do what Raising Hell did, you can't say no other album takes a million because Chronic came way later, this and that. If it wasn't, De La Soul album was groundbreaking, but De La Soul and Tribe needed a P.E. or Run-DMC to be able to become the classic that they did. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I'm talking about just from a hip-hop presentation, the Bomb Squad was trying to duplicate the loud sounds of Larry Smith and Rick Rubin. But P.E. couldn't be Me, Run, and Jay, but they wanted to make that music, so they took what we did to a whole nother level. So Raising Hell is the blueprint for all great rap albums. But if my last album would have been King of Rock, hip hop would have been all right because of It Takes a Nation of Millions.
That's word. Also, it's like albums these days are either super long or super short now. Like, what do you think? What's up with that, with the attention span thing? Like,
I like the super short albums better because the super short albums create an experience that makes you desire to do it again. The super long album makes you say, okay, can you do it again? And it's those little mental idiosyncrasies, I don't know if that's the word for it, that people don't pay attention to. Like Eric B. and Rakim's first album was 9 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like 18 with Snip, it was just 9 songs. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful because now it not only gives the audience space for growth, it gives the artist space for growth. Now growth don't exist. Now my first thing has to be what would be accomplished in 10 years. That's why shit come and go. And if you can hit that jackpot, but the bad thing about it is, here's what's funny. The record that was the hottest record 3 years ago, nobody want to hear it no more. Or it's not even listenable. But Dear Mama, Dear Mama, Brenda Had a Baby, Don't Believe the Hype, Peter Piper, these songs can play in any generation and still be new. That's why I said the kids don't realize they can do what we did 40 years ago, even on the higher levels.
Word, well, man, DMC, man, thank you again. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, this is a crazy opportunity, and I'm happy you took the time.
And no doubt, because like I said, we all in this together, and it's up to us. And we forget that word. It's up to us. Hip hop was beautiful when radio and media and artists worked together. Because then we dictated what the fucking corporations could do. They're gonna do what they do because they got the money. But with us, we dictated what they could do. I'll never forget KRS-One doing an interview, and he said, all this shit is grandiose, but my first concern is that audience. And I'll never forget that he said that. I was like, wow. He said, my first concern when I make these music and do what I do is the audience. That's why Chuck D said, I like Nike, but wait a minute. The neighborhood supports to put some money in it. The corporations, they got to give up the show to my town or else we got to shut them down.
Mm-hmm. Word up. Well, again, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend. I hope we cross paths again soon. We working, man.
We definitely will.
We working. This generation, I'm 25, man. We working, man. I promise you. Love, man. Peace.
Out. Thank you.
This has been the Good Convo podcast, as brought to you by Vinyl Me Please. Host and executive producer Michael Penn II, aka Crash Press. Executive producer Amileah Sutliff. Recording and post-production by Jonah Graber. Original theme song produced by Knows the Time. Store if I tried, tell him store if I'm focused, man. And it's still invoice boys word count. Click to the check drop. Period.